My stepmother called begging for money after what she did when Dad was dying. My dad died believing I was in federal prison. That's what my stepmother, Veronica, told him during his final week in hospice care. She had convinced the hospice staff I was dangerous and shouldn't be allowed to visit. I found out because a nurse broke protocol and called me after Dad died. She said Veronica had been telling him for weeks that I was in prison for fraud and couldn't come see him. The truth was I lived 20 minutes away and had been calling the hospice daily begging to see him. 2 weeks before he entered hospice, while he was still confused from pain medications, Veronica got him to sign a new will. Everything went to her. The house, his plumbing business, $400,000 in savings, all of it. At the will reading, the lawyer said, "Everything goes to my wife, Veronica. My son gets nothing because he betrayed my trust." I tried to fight it, but my lawyer said without proof of coercion, I had no case. Cost me $5,000 just to hear that. Within a month, Veronica sold Dad's plumbing business for quick cash. While I was sleeping in my car, she posted photos from Miami with her trainer. While I worked double shifts at a warehouse, she bought a $70,000 Mercedes. While I saved every penny for 3 years, she was burning through Dad's money on failed boutiques and younger boyfriends. I watched it all on social media, the shopping sprees, the procedures, the parties. She went through $100,000 in the first year alone. Meanwhile, I bought my first condemned property for $30,000 using a hard money loan. Spent 6 months fixing it myself after my warehouse shifts. Flipped it for $60,000. Used the profit to buy 2 more, started renting them. Year 5, she was selling Dad's house to cover debts. Year 7, her latest boyfriend cleaned out her accounts and disappeared. Year 8, she had to take a retail job. By year 10, I owned 22 rental properties, bringing in $300,000 annually. She was folding clothes at minimum wage. I built everything from nothing while she destroyed everything Dad built. Last week, an unknown number called and I heard, "I need to see you. It's about your father." My chest tightened hearing Veronica's voice after 10 years of silence. She said there were things about his final days I didn't know. I almost hung up, but curiosity won. She was waiting at a coffee shop downtown, looking nothing like the woman who stole everything. The Botox was gone, designer clothes replaced with discount store basics. She looked desperate and exhausted. She started crying immediately, saying guilt had been destroying her. Then she said, "Your father did ask for you at the end." I lied about that. I thought maybe she was finally coming clean, but then her tone shifted. She claimed she needed help because she was about to be evicted and had nowhere to go. Her credit was destroyed. She had no savings, and she'd been fired from 3 retail jobs in 2 years for stealing from the register. She needed someone to co-sign an apartment lease and loan her first and last month's rent, maybe $10,000 total. You have all those properties now. You're successful. She actually thought I'd help her after everything. The audacity was breathtaking. When I stayed silent, she got aggressive and said I owed her because she was Dad's widow and that made us family. She said if I had any love for my father's memory, I'd help the woman he chose to marry. I asked her if she remembered telling the hospice staff I was dangerous. She shifted uncomfortably and said she did what she thought was best at the time. I asked if she remembered telling Dad I was in federal prison. He was confused anyway. It didn't matter what I said. That's when I knew she felt zero remorse. I told her that nurse who called me after Dad died had contacted me again last month. Veronica went pale. The nurse had kept copies of the hospice records showing Veronica had specifically instructed staff to tell Dad I was in prison whenever he asked about me. She had also documented that Dad was lucid and asking for me daily. But here was the worst part. The nurse discovered Veronica had been visiting Dad with her trainer during his final week, introducing him as her massage therapist while they were already together. She was cheating on my dying father in front of him while he was too medicated to understand. Veronica jumped up from the table and said, "You can't prove any of that. That nurse violated HIP AAA. Those records aren't admissible." She knew exactly what she'd done. When I stood to leave, she grabbed my arm and hissed that she'd make my life hell if I didn't help her. She'd tell everyone I abandoned my dying father. I pulled my arm free and told her she already played that card 10 years ago. I blocked her number in the parking lot. 2 days later, she showed up at one of my properties screaming at tenants that I was heartless. I had her arrested for trespassing. My lawyer sent her a cease and desist letter.